Hey YouTube, I'm doing this video because I had somebody ask me if there's any way you can use a magnet to get the black sands away from your gold and make it easier to pan. And the answer is yes, with a caution. As you can see here and on the camera, this is a magnet. I believe this was a keen magnet, and it works like most of them do. You push in the plunger, pick up your black sand like so, and when you let it go, it falls off. Here's another version that's not sure who makes this. It's called I'm not sure what it's called, but again, you do the same thing. You push down for the magnet, pick it up, and as you can see, this one is much stronger magnet. It lifts up the black sand. This is actually a rare earth magnet that came out of one of the orange magnets, and it's incredibly powerful and will hurt you if you get it between that and a piece of steel or another magnet. Way back when, they used to call these cow magnets, and they were tapered on both ends, and they would give these to cows after they had broken some hay bales apart, and maybe the pieces of metal were getting into the cows off the banding or off the wire or whatnot. So the cow would swallow it, and it would go through the system and pick up all the metal and come out the other end. We used to use these to put them in the handles of a gold pick. When if you're out metal detecting, you got a pick, this would go in the handle. And again, it's super strong, as you can see. Picks it up. The problem with this kind of a magnet is you can't get the black sand off it after you get it on it. So there's a solution for that too. If you just put a baggie on it, or even a piece of saran wrap. So anyhow, here's a baggie, same magnet, what I'm calling a cow magnet. As you can see, it picks it up, but now you've got it in the baggie, and you just pull the baggie off like so, and you get about 90% of it off if you can let it slide right. And you can see what just happened here. I don't know if you can or not. Let me get this in. These two, when they get together, you can't hardly get them apart. You know, you got to really work at it, and they'll pinch your hands. This other magnet, this other one that fits, is one that we made. It's a real simple thing, and anybody can make these. This is 1/2-inch PVC. This is a 1/2-inch pipe cap. This is a 1/2-inch pipe cap with a hole drilled in it. The plunger is a 16-penny nail, and the spring on this one I think is out of an ink pen. So all you have to do is cut this pipe down, and I believe it's about 4 inches. And these are rare earth magnets, and what we did, we just epoxied them on the end of the nail, and then put your spring on. The nail goes through the cap, goes in the other pipe. So now what you've got is a inexpensive version of the other magnets. But I'm not sure I can show you this. I'm going to try this, but if I use any of these magnets, we'll use this one that we made. So you go through here, you absolutely do pick up the black sand. And the more you go through it, now this is going through dry, which I never do. What you end up with, I don't know how good you can see it in this pan. Let me pan down here a little bit. This is the sand I just took off it. And I don't know if you can see it real good, but there are little flakes of gold all through this. So there's a solution to that. And what you have to do is, number one, don't ever do this with dry sand. So let me get some water in that, and I'll be back. Okay, the pan on the left is a GPAA pan. The one on the right is a super pan. Doesn't make any difference. You can use any kind of pan to do this. I always do 2 and sometimes 3 pans to do this. You can use anything. You can use paper bowls. It really doesn't matter. The secret is in your magnet and how high you're going to have it above the gold. So what you do, you push the plunger down, you go in the water, but try to keep it above the material as much as you can. Take it and drop it in another pan. Do the same here. And you can actually go in circles like this, picking it up, and drop it in the same pan if you don't have as much material as we got here. This is a cleanup out of somewhere. I'm not sure even where this came from. So you can go like so and get real close to the blonde sand and just drop it in the same pan. And what you're looking for here is to see how much gold is actually still in the black sand. And that looked pretty clean. Because what happens if you get too close, if you get right down on it like so, and you pick it up, more than likely you will have gold in that. And the reason is the gold doesn't get attracted to the magnet, but the black sand will pinch the gold as you pick it up. So you keep going like that above the sand and just pulling the black sand out. Oh, I touched. And see, I don't know if you can see that in that pan. Let me see if I can zoom on that. I just accidentally touched on that. Let me go over here to this pan. A little bit too close. So right here, I don't know if you can see it, right there where my thumb is a little piece of gold that was captured because I got too close to the blonde sands and I picked up the gold. Let's see if I can scrape it out of there for you a little bit with the, there it is right there. And there's another one and another one right beside it. So we ended up getting a lot of the gold picked up with the black sand. So again, what you do is get some water in your other pan, which I will here in a second. So now the objective here is to get just the black sand. And see, I still got it. I still touched, and there's a piece of gold clear over here. And this is the problem with a magnet. If you don't scan your gold to see what you're picking up, you're going to run into problems. You're going to lose a lot of gold. Now that little piece, I don't have my camera just right here, do I? Let's go about like you. So we'll just go through here and keeping your magnet almost above the water. And you pull up a little bit and then just throw it. I don't know if you can see that clear over there or not, but pick it up. And that way you can see what's in it. And you can see all these spots. There's no gold in these. There's no gold in that one. There's no gold in that one. Now this is mainly black sand. There's a little bit of blonde sand in it, but not a whole lot. And you should be able to here pretty quick be able to see some of the gold. There's some right there in the middle I can see. But you got to be above. If you touch the black sand, more than likely, if you've got a real good concentrate, you're going to have be picking up gold. So you want to be above it, and you want to just take a little bit at a time and deposit it. Take a little bit more, deposit it, and just keep doing that. And it's time consuming, but it makes it much easier. Now most of that is clear. There's one piece of gold in there that I saw for sure. No, there's one over here too. There's two, three. There's some right in here. And there's one there, there's one there, and there's one here, and there's the one over here that I threw. So that's what you got to do, is keep doing that, and then have a sucker bottle nearby, like we do. We got one right here, and you just pick those up, put them in your bottle as you go, because now you've got, for demonstration purposes, I just have all these little piles here, all these little spots, but there's gold in this one, there's gold in that one, that I know for sure. So what you want to do is, when you take that gold and dump it into another pan, and sometimes I'll have 3 pans, maybe I'll have 4 pans, and you take some, like out of the first pan that we looked at, you pick up some, and I'll drop it over there. And let's see where we went, over there. I just dropped that. Now you can go over it again. I didn't see if I got a little close, and now there's a little piece of gold. So I just take this black sand away from it without touching it. And this little piece of gold right here, stick it right up the sucker ball. And the same, there's another piece right there. You're just peeling the gold from, or the black sand from around it. Makes it much, much easier to do. There's one. And there's one. Let me see if you can see those in the camera. Those are right here. I just can't get close enough, I don't think, to give you a good shot. But there's a fair-sized piece of gold. Both of those are. So now, that's what you want to do, is keep moving this gold around till you don't have it. Like I said, I typically will not do it all in one pan. This is just for demo purposes, just to make it easier for right now. But there's a little piece right there. And you can't touch it though. You can't touch that material. I see another piece right here. So here's another, and that's a respectable piece of gold right there. So you just keep going through it, get as much as you can. Oh, that one's barren. And I'm not touching anything here. I'm probably a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch above. And a lot of guys want to do a real strong magnet to do this, and unless you're running a piece of equipment with it, the strong magnets are more of a detriment than they are than one that's a little less. Because these are all rare earth magnets. These two on this little one that we made here is also rare earth. And you can get them on eBay, or I think Home Depot used to have them. But they're really great. They're really strong. Some guys just put them on the end of the push rod inside here, rather than like we did. We just put some, I think it's E6000 or even epoxy or anything to hold that magnet on the end, and then get to using it. And does it speed it up? If you're into heavy black sand like this is, yeah, it does. If you're into real light black sands, I'm not sure that you couldn't pan it down quicker, but it answers the question, can you do it? Yes, you can. Definitely do it wet, don't do it dry. Now make your own, or you can pay money for it. For a couple bucks you can make one of these that you can get materials at Home Depot for it, and build your own for little nothing. I think it's $2 or $3 worth of material there, including the magnet. Okay, there's so much gold in this this concentrate here. I've had to go to a third pan. There's the third pan over there. This is the one pan, and this is the other pan that I started with right here. And I'm going to show you the gold that was in that we pulled out. It probably was maybe 15 minutes. So all we're going to do here is we're just going to take it out of the snuffer bottle. Make sure there's nothing in the lid. I always check that. You should also. And I just turn it over and do that. And there's some pretty nice gold right there. Let me get a little bit better picture maybe. I don't know if that's real clear or not. It doesn't look like it to me, but there you go. That's what was in that black sand. And I believe we had that marked, wherever that came from, but there you go. That's what was in the black sand. It probably took us 15 minutes maybe to get it out of the black sand, and now we got clean gold. We don't have to pan, and there's a little bit, as you can see here, the little bit of black sand, I sucked it up. But I'd much rather pan that than that whole tub of black sand I had before. There you go. That's all there is. So anyhow, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.